In this demonstration, we're going to look at some of the other objects that the Room Builder offers besides seats and chairs. Some of the objects that'll help you kind of fill out your room if you decide to go that extra step. You're probably familiar with the Chairs tab and the Sectionals and Sofas tab. If you're not, you might want to look at some of our earlier videos that show how to make rows of seats and sectionals and couches, and we use those two tabs for those videos. In this video, we're going to use the Walls tab, which you can see we have some shapes here that we can stretch and change to simulate some of the walls or different objects in our room. We have a Tables tab. We have 3 different shaped tables that you can use. Of course, they can be stretched or manipulated so that they match some of the furniture that you have. So to start with, you see I've already built a room. This is actually pretty close to my home theater. And in my home theater, in this upper right area, it's inaccessible because the way the roof of the house is shaped. It kind of comes down at a pretty sharp angle, and so there's not enough room to stand up, so they built a wall here. So let's just click on the Walls tab and demonstrate. If we wanted to create a wall, we could take this piece, and you can see it starts at 3 inches wide and 36 inches long. So of course we can change the size of it and the shape of it just like any other object. And let's pull down another one. I could pull down another one and resize it, or I could just clone this one. And again, to clone, what you do is hold down the control, well, first of all, select the object, hold down a control key on the keyboard, and then just simply drag away. And we could rotate it. And it's about that easy to draw a wall. And of course you can fine-tune move these if you need to by using the positioning buttons here. So if you needed to drop down or move left or right, it's fairly easy to do that. Sometimes it's easier to use those than to fine-tune with the mouse. The mouse is sometimes a little bit difficult to use. So that's one option. Another option is to use this solid filled rectangle to simulate a wall. So let's do that now. So let's delete these 2 pieces. And let's use a solid filled one. And we'll do a bunch of clicking to expand it out to the size that we need. And I'm only going to expand it a little bit more. In my room, as I mentioned, this area is blocked off because of the shape of the roof. And down below it, down in this area here, is where we have our snack area. And we actually have a candy bar vending machine, and we have a soda machine, and we have popcorn machine, a few other things like that. So that's a great way to simulate a wall using that. I also happen to have some semicircular columns that go floor to ceiling beside my screen, and I've got my left and right channel speakers in there. So we can simply pull out a column there, and let's say you can see here that it's 18 inches wide. Let's say that we have ours at 19 inches. So you can do that. If you want to clone it, hold down the control key, pull another one out. You can fine-tune adjust its position by using the arrows there. You can see that this arrow says that the edge of this column is 14 foot 2 inches from the back wall. So let's see what this one is. 14.3. So we need to actually move this just a little bit. There we go. So you can use those dimension lines to help you accurately position things. You could also, if you wanted to, if you have the need, you could take 2 of these, create a circle. Let's move this one 180 degrees. There, 180 degrees. Looks like we need to move it just a tad to the left. There. So there's all kinds of flexibility that you can find from this, and you can use your creativity and imagination to build the different pieces that you need. So let's go ahead and delete those out since we don't have a need for that. You could use this to simulate a subwoofer, for example. I have my subwoofer in the corner here, so let's expand it out to be subwoofer size. Move it in the corner. We can rotate it a little bit. It looks. You could use it to simulate your speakers. So let's create some surround speakers. Since I've resized that, I'll just clone it. You could make some satellite speakers. There we go. And as I mentioned, I happen to have a snack area down here, and we actually have a countertop. So although these are marked as tables, it'd be easy enough to use this to simulate a countertop. So let's just pull one of these tables out and resize a little bit. And there we have a countertop if we want it. So there's all kinds of flexibility built into this, and as you saw, you can kind of reshape some of these pieces. You can use them for different things, even though it says it's a table. You could use it as a countertop. Wall pieces, we saw that we could actually put two of these semicircles together to form a circle. You could put a semicircle linked up to a rectangle. You can do all kinds of things, and you should be able to pretty closely simulate your theater from these tools. So, and last but not least, if you wanted to add some flooring, and we can always turn off the grid if we wanted to. So there's all kinds of options. So have fun with it, and just think outside the box using these tools, and you should be able to come up with something that'll work. And one last thing. The room builder is smart enough to know the difference between a seat that a person would sit in, like all of these are seats that a person would sit in. This first one is a seat. Obviously, these are arms, and people won't be sitting on those. And the other objects. And when you build your room, you need to make sure that you use a designated seat object for all the seats that you want reserved. That's how the system knows what to reserve for a person and what objects not to reserve. So for example, this ottoman will not be a seat. The system doesn't look at it as a seat, and so if you decide to use that as a seat, it won't be reservable. So just keep that in mind when you're building your room. And good luck.